Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time. It is time. It is time for the first balancing patch for V Rising. I'm so excited for this. I'm not gonna lie. I was asleep, and I got a bunch of messages that this came out like a few minutes ago as of recording this. So I woke up to check this out, and then I go back to sleep after I upload it and publish it. So if you see this, I'm probably back in bed. But we had to get up and talk about this because this is so exciting. I'm so pumped about this. We're gonna skim past the new features and the bug fixes. So there's some really good bug fixes in there, especially for people who have been having server issues connecting to servers. So definitely check that out if you are. But we're gonna hop right into the balance changes because there's a lot. I kind of briefly walked through, and then I just saw how much they've actually changed. So we're gonna take a look at it. And a reminder, I'm looking at this all from a PvP perspective. This is if you're interested in a PvE perspective, I might offer some insights, but my focus will be PvP on this. So just be aware of that. But we're going to go ahead and get started with it and kind of walk through all the things, talk about what I like, what I don't like. I'm really excited to see this. There's one thing I'm sure you can guess that I control F and searched real fast and saw it there. That just made my night slash morning slash this waking up totally worth it. Also, I just finished season 1 of Stranger Things before I went to bed, so I was still on my computer, so that's why I had those tabs up. Either way, let's get into this. Vermin solved, no longer interrupted by damage during cast time. Cool, lovely. Makes sense. Should have been the way it should have been. So glad they fixed that. Scholar blood. This is where we're gonna get right to the spicy stuff, right? Scholar blood, right? Looking right here. Spell power bonus reduced to 10 to 20% from 12 to 25%. This should have been from the get-go. There is no reason that spell power bonus from Scholar Blood should have ever been better than the physical power bonus from the Warrior Blood. Now they're, I believe, waking up. I believe they're matched now with that. This is a great change. In the free cast chance reduced to 15% from 20%. I think that's also fine. I don't think the free cast was the biggest of issue at 20%, but I have no complaints about taking that down. I'm more happy about the spell power bonus. Again, for those who haven't heard my arguments, Warrior Blood and Scholar Blood are supposed to mirror each other. You have the spell power, fist power. You have, excuse me, like the life leech and the damage reduction parry thing. Like you cooldowns for physical, cooldowns for spell. Like they mirror each other. And the fact that Scholar Blood gave 12 to 25% while Warrior Blood gave less was always crazy to me. So I'm glad they fixed this. Mounted combat, melee damage done when mounted is reduced by 30%. No, helps with Horselording. It's probably not exactly the change that they need to do to kind of fix Horselording. But it's a step in the right direction. It's kind of a band-aid fix for the time being that'll hopefully help reduce the main issue. But the main issue with Horselording is just the ability to dodge the bear and dodge everything and kind of move around. It's more about the maneuverability and less about the damage. But having your damage reduced by 30% will help a little bit in terms of being a bit more of a high-risk, high-reward situation. Veil of Blood, healing increased to 6% from 5%. It's available. That's the blood dash, which if you watch my dash video, that's the worst dash in my opinion. I think a 1% increase for the healing is not going to be solving the core issue that it's having. But maybe with some of these other changes, it'll kind of explain why they did this. Maybe more melee is going to be prominent in the game after this, so that's why they did a smaller buff. But I think it needs to have a bit more life given to it than just a 1% buff on the healing. Corpse Explosion. Damage increased to 140% from 125%. Fading snare duration increased to 1.5 seconds from 1 second. Cooldown reduced to 10 seconds from 12 seconds. This is a step in the right direction. The core issue with Corpse Explosion is just the cast time. I would much rather have seen the cast time for this dropped instead of the cooldown, but we'll take what we can get. I'm happy that they at least addressed it or are working towards it because Corpse Explosion, really cool premise, really cool idea, but it was just like one of the worst abilities for PvP. So I like that they're actually making 140% damage is really good, and the snare increase, that's a really good quality of life buff. So happy to see that, and that they're looking at options beyond just raw damage increases or decreases. For Unstable Mosquito, damage increased to 70% from 60%. That's a nice little buff. It was only really used in some cheese builds with maybe slashers and stuff. So seeing a little bit more damage, a little bit more reason to try to potentially use that on top of what it provides otherwise is solid. I think it could use a little love, and so I'm happy they gave it a little love. And then Veil of Bones, the last for the Unholy changes. Initial projectile damage increased to 75% from 25%. Max bounce reduced to 3 from 4. Each bounce now reduces the damage of the next bounce by 25%. I'm not in love with this change. The whole initial projectile, like the reason you ran the Veil of Bones was not for some initial projectile damage. The reason you ran Veil of Bones was to get amplified down. So the fact that the bounces are reduced is like, that's not what you want to see. Like the whole initial projectile increase is what it is. Like 75 from 25, that's a hefty buff, right? That's 3 times the amount of damage. Like don't get me wrong, that's really nice. But the reason you ran it was to get the amplifiers off, and they should have played more into that instead of just like, hey, this dash would give you damage. Like that's not why people ran it. And so I don't like the direction they're taking that ability in. But we'll see if this is a better fix. Maybe the initial projectile damage will be nice and be a little bit more useful. Maybe like work better for some more like assassin builds, or kind of like just like help with some like DPS for builds that don't have high DPS to be able to like rock that. But I don't think that's the step that Veil of Bones needed to go in. Now we're gonna go to the Illusion Tree. We got 2 changes for Spectral Wolf and Mirror Strike. Spectral Wolf damage increased to 125% from 100%. Cooldown increased to 8 seconds from 7 seconds. Yeah, I mean, Spectral Wolf I'm glad they're focusing on a lot of these abilities that are weak and trying to buff them up. I think increasing the Spectral Wolf damage to 125% from 100% is nice, especially if that's including the damage it has from bouncing around. I think that's good. I definitely think that opens it up to be more viable for a damage spell, and also just for different combos and abilities. So I like this. I don't think increasing the cooldown to 8 seconds from 7 seconds is necessarily what they needed to do. But I guess like, I don't know. I guess they're trying to have these higher like damage ones have higher cooldowns, which is fair. But just I'm interested to see how Spectral Wolf works out. This is like a hesitant thing. Like the raw damage is really cool to me, but it's like the same thing I have with Veil of Bones, where like the uniqueness of the Spectral Wolf is not just having a high DPS. Like, it's the balance and everything with it. And I wish they would have played more into that instead of just being like 25% more damage. So that's less exciting to me, but I'm happy that Spectral Wolf, Corpse Explosion, all these things are actually getting some love and notice. And now here's the big one. The one that everyone has been waiting for, talking about. Let's talk about fucking Chaos. A barrier. Projectile damage reduced to 50% from 70%. Poggers, nice. Nice little nerf. Chaos barrier was definitely overtuned. I don't think it was broken. It was very overtuned, so having a little bit less of the damage for the payoff for blocking the ability is nice. So no issue with that. I think that's a solid balance for Chaos Bearer. The projectile shouldn't have dealt so much damage in the first place, so I think that's solid. But let's get right into the big one. Let's get right. Oh, boys. We did it! I want to shout out everyone on the Reddit, on the Discords, on the forums. Chaos Volley broken. Chaos Volley is insane. Nerf Chaos. We came together as a community. We came together as comrades. Merciless, normal PvP, PvE, role players. We united as one force here, my brethren. Let's fucking go. Cooldown increased to 8 seconds from 7 seconds. We love that. And the big one, projectile damage reduced to 110% from 125%. It's a start. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, boys. Spectral Wolf now deals more damage than Chaos Volley. Who would have seen that coming? Who would have thought? Not me. Oh, I love to see it. I'm so sick on Chaos Volley. I was in the PvP duel server. I was on Blood Feud yesterday. Today, my sense of time for just waking up is thrown off. I was mauling on that server, bro. I'm so fucking sick of just fighting nothing but Chaos Volleys, bro. I'm so fucking sick of it. And this is a step in the right direction. Will it be enough damage? Will it actually do what it needs to do to actually make it balanced? I don't know yet. That will come to actually seeing how it plays out between the Chaos Volley nerf as well as the Scholar Blood nerf. I think that combo as a whole for open world will make it a lot better. Just the raw damage nerf for like dual servers will make it better. We'll have to see how it goes. But I'm so glad that they noticed this. No, a 50% damage reduction is really big, especially when it's like each projectile is dealing that. I love to see this. I think this is a step in the right direction. Make the cooldown longer, the damage reduced. This was the thing that they told me this. I got messages that this happened. I woke up. I hopped on here real fast. I controlled F and I went Chaos V, and immediately it popped up and I saw damage reduced, and I was like, we're recording. We're doing this. If I didn't see that, bro, I would have mauled it on Twitter. But no, we're happy now. We're happy now. Power Surge, Shield Absorb reduced to 120% from 150%. That's good. Power Surge was an A tier ability. It is very, very strong. Very, very, very strong. So knocking that shield down a bit is a good step for the balance. I got no issue with that. Veil of Chaos, cooldown increased to 9 seconds from 8 seconds. Illusion area damage reduced to 40% from 50%. I think the cooldown is fine. I think it's very strong on a lot of PvP, just being able to get the maneuverability with the double dash. So I think increasing its base cooldown a little bit is a good change. The illusion area damage, I think that's a silly thing to care about. That was not like a factor of like Veil of Chaos being strong. 90% of the time your illusion wasn't really hitting that much, and so reducing it to 40% from 50%, like, cool. Why not? I don't care. We'll see if they touch my frost dash. That's what I care about. And then Merciless Charge, cast time reduced to 0.7 seconds from 0.8 seconds, fixing an issue where player got locked in position for a short duration when the area effect triggered early during the dash. A 0.1 second cast time reduced, and the bug fix. Chaos Volley Nerfed. That's all we care about here, boys. All right, Frost. Crystal Lance. I didn't read through any of the Frost or any of these weapons yet, so I'm excited to see these. Crystal Lance, projectile damage increased to 190% from 150. Cast time reduced to 1.2 seconds from 1.4 seconds. Cooldown reduced to 7 seconds from 8 seconds, but then they reduced the splinter damage. I like this a lot. Crystal Lance is a really dope ability. The only time you ever really saw it was during raids, because of like the whole splinter and like tight quarters where it's harder to dodge it. It's easier to have like these long casted abilities. Like a 1.4 second cast time is a very long time to animate an ability in a fight. So I'm glad they knocked that down a little bit, but that damage increase is really, really nice. I'm really, really happy about that. That is a move in the right direction. I think this is a good step for Crystal Lance. I think you're going to be able to actually use this a bit more in PvP. I still think it's going to be more niche, just because end of the day, anything with a 1.2 second, over 1 second cast time for a normal ability in PvP is going to be harder to use. But I think the changes are the right direction. I think this will still make it really strong for raids and close corridor fights. And I like the fact that they gave Crystal Lance some love, because it was really struggling in my opinion. Ice Nova cooldown reduced to 10 seconds from 12 seconds. Dope. I slipped on Ice Nova. I got corrected on that after my ability rankings. I think Ice Nova is a nice mid-tier ability. I definitely slipped on it in my original rankings, and so a nice little cooldown reduce. We take those. Veil of Frost. Okay, here we go. Nova Frost damage reduced to 30% from 50%. We don't fucking care, bro. They didn't touch the shield. The Nova Frost damage from 30 to 50. Cool. We don't care, boys. We don't. Frost Dash still alive, boys. Let's go. All right, and the Arctic Leap, the other big one with Chaos Volley, fixed an issue where Arctic Leap could hit the same target twice. This is good. I learned this the other night. I actually was going to post a video about this, so I no longer have to. But when you landed on an Arctic Leap, if you had like a Reaper Q or even like an Axe Q, anything that can knock a person back real fast, if you landed directly on them and immediately did that ability, you would knock him back, and then would get hit by Arctic Leap a second time. So if you like incapacitate them with like an Axie or like froze them and then you land on them, as soon as you land on them, you would do your Q with the Reaper and then would get knocked back. And so it would refresh the freeze as well as deal with the Arctic Leap damage twice, which is just insane, right? And the damage reduced to 200% from 225%. That's fine. The damage isn't the issue. They need to reduce the size of it. That's the main issue. or maybe make the cast time longer. The damage is not the issue with Arctic Leap. It's the fact that it's this giant ass AoE that is really fast to use and really quick to use, and there's no like cast that they just do it. I think that's the main issue with Arctic Leap. The damage reduction is nice, but I don't think that actually solves the issue of what Arctic Leap was in the meta. So I still think you're going to see Arctic Leap a lot. Cool. Crossbow. Crossbow bolts no longer deal less damage than a normal shot after using a Veil of Frost, Unholy, or Blood. Crossbow needed more love than that, but whatever. We'll talk to Icebox about that. He's going to be upset. They should have given Crossbow some more love. Spear. 1,000 spears. Damage per hit reduced to 25% from 30%. 200% total damage from 240% damage. Love it. Dope. I think 1,000 spears was like the best ability to run for like 1v1s, and even an open world is really strong. And so giving a little bit of a damage reduction is dope. I still think it should deal a lot of damage if you hit all of the if you land the combo, hit every single 1,000 spear, it should still be a good chunk of damage, which it will be 200% total. But yeah, taking it a little bit down from like 240 total, I think is a nice change, and it also means that you have more reason to try and make sure you hit all of them and not just get a few off. So I think that's a good change. I don't think 1,000 Spears is the most broken ability like a lot of people do. So I think this is a good little nerf for it. And then Harpoon, which is the Spear E, cast time reduced to 0.7 from 0.8, damage increased to 90 from 70. The cast time reduction is nice. I talked about this in my Spear video, but the Spear E the Harpoon is really hard like consistently used because it's such a big wind up. So a little bit less is nice. It probably needed to go down from 0.8 to like 0.5 or 0.6. But I think this is still a good direction. It'll have to be we'll have to test that to see if it's really that noticeable, really that nice. And a nice little damage increase. You weren't really using it for the damage, but getting a little bit extra damage on that will help people want to actually use it more compared to just like only really X Strike, which X Strike. Incapacitate duration from intersecting hit reduced to 1 second from 2 seconds. Damage per axe hit reduced to 80% from 85. Dude. The devs are listening, lads. The devs are listening. Yes. Let's go. Snaps. Let's go. Incapacitate duration reduced. We were literally talking about this on stream. Since the time is so fucked up, on my last stream we were talking about this. What they need to do is just drop the incapacity duration because it will make it harder to get those one-shot combos off. They don't really need to change much else. The damage per axe hit reduced by 5%. Is what it is. I don't really care. Like, that's fine. That's not a big, like, whatever. Sure, a little bit less damage on the axe is perfectly fine. But that incapacitate direction is such a nice change because that's gonna make it so much harder if you hit a max range axe like X Strike to actually be able to get a combo off on it. Love that change. Okay, and then my favorite weapon, the mace. Let's see what they did to our boy. Crushing blow, damage increased to 150 from. Damn! I'm trying not to yell because it's currently 5 in the morning because I woke up to do this. But dude, that's what I'm talking about. Damage increased by 40%. Oh my god. Jeremy Benson, I hope you are watching this video. I want to personally thank you for just watching my content because there's no way all these changes I've been begging for have gone unnoticed. I want to thank you, Jeremy. You are bearing me the god. I'm so happy right now. Oh, I'm so happy for this mace change. And then what was the smack? Cooldown reduced to 8 seconds from 9 seconds. Dope. But 40% damage increase on the mace cube, bro. Oh, that is tasty. Oh my god, I'm not gonna be able to fall back asleep, guys. I'm gonna be watching the clock, hoping I can play some before work. Oh, I'm so happy. Let's see the last two things, sword and slashers. Let's check this out. Sword, whirlwind, damage per hit reduced to 30% from 35. Oh, this is an L. Why would you reduce the whirlwind damage, bros? Come on now. It wasn't that strong. It wasn't. That's an L change. That's some PvE change probably right there, bro. That's not a PvP change. Oh, that's L. Sword was already so hard to actually work with Whirlwind in PvP. You have to actually get a perfect situation where you can like get on top of them. They don't have a dash or any CC to fuck you up, and you can hit it, bro. That's an L change. Shockwave cast time increased. Oh my, what are they doing to my boy, bro? Damage per teleport strike for dude. What are they doing to my boy, bro? The sword needed buffed on those abilities. What are you doing? No. Oh, this was almost a perfect patch. This was almost a perfect patch. That's terrible. That's terrible. No. No. Oh, that's so sad. The sword needed a buff on both abilities, not a nerf on both. Oh my god, it's like the least damaging like weapon in the game. It was like that, and like crossbow is the only thing like really worse. And then they buff crossbow and they nerf sword. That's sad. Let's see if they make it up with slashers. Elusive strike, damage per hit increased 70% from 60%. Camouflage and passivation reduced to 2.5 from 3. I'm okay with this. I was trying to decide if I like the damage increase for the elusive strike, but I'm kind of okay with that. It never really was that huge of damage. People use it more for iframe dodging. So I'm okay with a little bit more damage. It's nice because it will give people a reason to actually use that ability, which is how the devs intended it as an in and out quick damage hit, and not just like using it to like iframe dodge. So I'm okay with that, like actually making that an option. And then the incapacitate reduction for both the slasher and the X strike is an absolute W. Overall, I like this patch. Overall, I really, really like this patch. You could tell the devs actually listened to us. I think there's a few things that kind of fell flat. Like the Veil of Bones change fell a little flat. The Spectral Wolf was a nice. I wish it could have been a little bit more interesting. And obviously big fan of the Chaos Volley and then yeah, also a big fan though of the Chaos or Corpse Explosion, the Chaos Volley, Chaos Barrier nerfs, Arctic Leap nerf is a step in the right direction. Crystal Lance buff is really, really cool. Spear Q nerf is nice. X Strike, that's so nice. And my favorite, the Mace buff. Yeah, there's a few things like the sword I'm a little sad about. A few other things I feel like they kind of misread what the ability should be intended for. But overall, this is a W patch. This is a W patch. Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm so happy about this. When this is coming out today, oh my god, snaps. All right. That being said, I'm going to end this, edit it in the next 5 minutes, and go to bed. So I hope you guys enjoy this content. This made my day to see if I can fall back asleep. With that being said, much love. If you like this content, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Redlaf, all that fun stuff. And I'll catch you guys sometime soon. Bye-bye.